Hi guys! Today I'm going to be showing you a Totoro nail tutorial. As you can see, that's the final result. I actually wore these to Tauranga when I went, and a lot of people thought they were rabbits. So if you want, you can also take this as a Easter tutorial, and I'll show you how you can change it to do that. For this tutorial, you are going to need 2 dotting tools. I made my own, as I will show you later. Toothpicks, and a whole lot of nail polish. At the end I will go through all the colours I used. To start off, paint all of your nails with a base coat to protect them, and add 1 or 2 layers of a white polish, or until they are opaque. If you are doing Easter nails, you may want to choose pinks or greens, and make white bunnies. Make sure to wait until each layer has dried completely before adding another or fixing any mistakes. You can choose to wait until the end, but I normally clean up around the edges as I go with cotton buds dipped in nail polish remover. Once the nails have dried, I start by using a toothpick and with a dark glittery blue polish, make small angled stripes to make rain. I then went onto my ring finger and using a homemade dotting tool, which I made by using an ordinary pencil with an eraser on the end and sticking different sized pins into. In this tutorial I used 2 different sizes. I begin to create the body shape. I didn't want them to be too big, just peeking out from the bottom of the nail, not the whole body. So I made a half oval shape and then changing to a smaller pin, made the ears. In the movie you will see the ears aren't straight up and down, they have a slight inward curve on the outer ear towards the head. So if you want you can go ahead and add that. However, if you're doing bunnies for Easter, I would just recommend doing them straight. Now I did the same using green on my middle finger, although I accidentally made this one a bit too big. And then moving on to the index finger, I used a medium grey to make Totoro. I waited to do the thumb because the white still hadn't properly dried, but through the magic of editing, here you will see I only used the bigger pin because I wanted to include a big grinning mouth, so I took up the whole nail without leaving any room for the ears except for the bases. For the colour, I don't actually have any browns, so to get as close as I could to the colour I wanted, I mixed these bronze and champagne-y beigey coloured polishes. While all those dried, I went back to the pinky finger and using a plum coloured polish, used the smaller pin to create the shape of an umbrella. Depending on your polish, you may have to use another layer to make it opaque over the raindrops. Now taking a toothpick dipped into black polish, I made the tip of the umbrella and the curved handle. You don't have to make any backgrounds if you don't want to, but I wanted to add a bit more detail. If you're doing Easter nails, you might even want to add little Easter eggs, crosses, polka dots, or even just have a different base colour like pink or green. It would be nice just to have stripes in the background. But for my ring finger, I used the small pin to create little light pink flower shapes. On my middle finger I used a yellow striper and made stars. You could use a toothpick for this as well. If you use a striper, remember to regularly wipe off the brush as it can get big drips running down it, and you do not want those messing up all of your hard work. For Totoro I used a green striper and ran this vertically behind him to create bamboo stalks. I actually did 2 different designs for the eyes. After doing them, for Totoro nails I definitely recommend the style I did for my ring finger, but for bunnies I'd say the eyes I did on the others, but it's up to you. Once the body bases have dried, for the ring finger I took the larger pin and created 2 black medium-sized circles for the eyes. Then on the other 3 I just went straight to white. As you can see I kind of stuffed up, particularly on the thumb. I really need a new white. You don't want the eyes to be too big because they're not huge, cute anime eyes. In fact, they can be a bit scary looking, particularly when they grin. Now you can add the white bellies. For some reason I didn't want to do one on Totoro himself, but you can do it if you like. I also added the black noses and whiskers using a toothpick. At the same time, I finished the umbrella by using the light pink polish we used for the flowers, and with a toothpick just created 2 small lines for the creases. The background should be dry by now, so I used the plum colour again and, with a toothpick, made 3 small curves on each flower to give them a bit of texture. They sort of look like roses. And for the bamboo I took a darker green and with a toothpick created small leaves. If your thumbnail has dried, you can make the outline of the mouth with a toothpick and black nail polish. If you want, you can use a picture for reference. If you've done the black base for the eyes, now is the time to use the smaller pin and with your white polish, fill them in, leaving a small black ring around the edges. When the bellies have dried, I used a toothpick on the blue and the green striper for the green, making upside down V shapes. It's really easy. Now take another toothpick and using your white polish, fill in the open mouth on the thumb. You can clean up the edges a bit if you want the black liner to be thinner, but be careful as it's really easy to mess this up, so just take your time. Now you'll probably have to wait a bit for the eyes to dry, but when they're done, you can make the pupils by using the smaller pin dipped into black polish. You don't have to make them even. The eyes can be kind of eerie looking and spaced out. When the mouth is dry, use a toothpick and black polish to create the teeth. If you're doing Easter nails, I think it would be cute to use a clear glitter polish on the background before adding a top coat, but it's up to you. When all of your nails are completely dry, add a top coat, clean up around the edges if necessary, and you're finished. I used 14 nail polishes in total. You don't have to use what I've used, but I'll list all the brands and colours in the description box below. And here's the finished result. Yeah, so I personally definitely prefer the index finger, if my camera will focus. Hello! I think it's, you know, much more Totoro looking. I wanted to do this tutorial on Sunday. I was in such a rush. I was just like going all day. I was cleaning. I had to clean, like, I did 5 loads of washing. I did the vacuuming. I did the dishes. I did the whole kitchen. I did the bathroom. I did my room and all this. At 3 o'clock I started to do my nails. I'm right-handed, but I used my left hand to paint my right hand first, and I thought, you know, it's a practice and it probably won't turn out as well as I'd liked, but it turned out really nice. And then it took a lot longer than I thought, and I was travelling to Tauranga that night. I was meant to leave at 4:30, so I have no idea why I started at 3. But I did, and so obviously I started to do this hand, and my sister was texting, and I'm like, oh, when are you leaving? Oh yeah, I'll try to leave by 4. And then Jordan came over, oh, I'll try to leave by 4:30. Might end up being about 5. I was just rushing, and then it was going okay, but then I messed up these 2. What you gonna do? Yeah, that's why these ones are looking a bit worse for wear. I did have the belly on this one, but it got chipped off. They actually lasted quite a while, but I went to Mount Maunganui yesterday and went climbing on some rocks, and you know, they got a bit wrecked. I am happy with how these turned out. I was getting a bit frustrated while I was doing them because I don't think Totoro turned out quite right. He definitely looks better on my right hand, like more like Totoro. But yeah, I just think do the rings around the eyes, it looks better. Oh, and obviously if you do the Easter nails, I wouldn't recommend doing this huge grinning thing and an umbrella. You can just do a little rabbit on each nail if you like. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm planning on doing a couple of more tutorials over the next few weeks or so. And check this out. I bought this from Trade Me on, I don't know, sometime last week, and it just arrived yesterday. A Death Note necklace! It's a clock, as you can see. The human whose name is written in this note will die. Shall die, sorry. I love it. It's so cool. Death Note, why are you so amazing? And please, please, this is one of the most important things that I seem to forget every time. Before carrying your polishes, and before picking them all up in a big bunch and taking them back to your room or putting them on your shelf, wherever you store them, make sure all the lids are on properly. This has happened to me twice now. The first time I was a bit luckier. It happened on my desk here, and you know, I can just wipe that off with nail polish remover. As you can see here, it happened on my carpet. Huzzah! But it's okay because this carpet is old and wrecked, and we've ripped it out from the hallway and the lounge, and it's just left in our rooms for some reason. But it's needing to go, so it actually looks kind of cool. I was thinking, you know, I could take some others and just splatter them everywhere, but maybe not. Okay, see you next time. Yes, bye. High five. Fist pump. Toothpicks. Once the nails have dried, I start by using... I really need a new black now as well. I need a new black, I need a new white, I need all sorts of crazy colours. Like black and white, they're so crazy.